Hello everyone, welcome along to the third part of my fraction series. I'm not going to do a face to camera bit because I'll be honest with you, I've just done Zumba, I've had a shower and it's not pretty. So we're just going to go straight to the work. So what have we done already? We have looked at what a fraction is, we've looked at identifying numerator and denominators, we've looked at finding a fraction of an amount, simplifying fractions, making them easier for us to understand, adding and subtracting fractions with the same denominator, and I'm conscious that you do them with different denominators as well, but I think I might hold off on that, might make a separate video or something like that with it, so don't overcomplicate things just now. And we also looked at changing top-heavy or improper fractions to a mixed fraction, and that was a number with a whole and a fraction in it. Okay, so today we're going to look at finding more than a quarter, an eighth, or a third. All right, so these are the ones that we've done. I've put the answers in there already. And so those ones were just a case of dividing the bigger number by the denominator. So one way you could remember is divide by the denominator. But also, if you were dividing by 1, which it can sometimes be, there would be no point, because if you divide 15 by 1, you're going to get 15, so that's not sharing it out. All right, so those are the ways we did those. It's fairly straightforward. You divide the bigger number, as always, by the smaller, and we got those answers. But how on earth can we work out what 2/8 of something is, or 3/7, or 4/9? Well, put simply, we can't. It's not possible to work out what 2/8 of anything is until we know what 1/8 is. However, you will see sums like this, 2/8 of 32. So how do we do them? Well, the difference with these ones is that there's a second step to them. All right, so first of all, there is no way that we can find out what 2/8 of something is until we know what 1/8 is. So 1/8 of 32 is 32 divided by 8, which is 4. Now visually, what you've got here is a shape split into 8 sections, all right? 8 parts, 8 equal parts. And what we're saying is that there are 4 in each, all right? There's 4. If you split it in each part, each of the 8 parts, there's 4. Now you can do this for the first couple times that you do it, and then eventually they won't need to do it. You could do this as a little visual for them to help understand it. So that's step 1, you're finding an eighth of 32 and you get 4. This is just to show that if one section has 4, because they're all equal, they all have 4. So if you are doing it this way, you can initially say, well, if there's 4 in 1, how many would you have? Let me get a coloured pen, you know I love one. How many would there be in 2 sections? And it would be 8. All right, that's to show it. Ideally, what they're doing is they're multiplying the top number by that answer. So we got 4 and then we times it by 2. That's how we get the answer. So our answer to 2/8 of 32 is 8. 4 and 4 is 8. 4 times 2 is 8. Okay, so I'll go through another one. Here we go. This time we're trying to find out what is 3/5 of 30. Now, again, we cannot possibly work out what 3/5 of anything is until we know what 1/5 is. So step 1 is to find out a fifth. Again, that just means the 30 divided by the 5. Okay, and 30 divided by 5 is 6. That means that in each of the 5 equal sections that we've split the pizza into, the chocolate into, the loaf of bread into, it makes no difference, in each of those sections is 6. Okay, and then you multiply the top number by your answer. So on this occasion, it would be 18. So we're multiplying it by 6, and so our answer, 3/5, is 18. Now we can double check this from our little drawing, 6, 12, 18. And you can say to them, well, you see, that's 1/5, that's 2/5, that's 3/5, that's 4/5, and 5/5 is the total. That's all of it. So that's just a way to show it. You don't need to do this every time, but I think it helps initially work it out. All right, so let's go on to our last one in this. We have got, we've got 2/7 of 28. Okay, so again, you say to them, we cannot possibly work out what 2/7 of anything is until we know what 1/7 is. All right, so we work out 1/7 of 28 is just 28 divided by 7, which gives us 4. That means that in each of the 7 sections, there are 4. So if there's 4 in one section, how many are in 2 sections? It's just 4 times 2. And our answer is 8. Okay, so that's just a little way to do those ones when you're finding when the denominator is more than 1 and you have to find that fraction of an amount. That's how you do those ones. Okay, so moving on, we're going to have a look at equivalent fractions. Now, here we have another one of these words where kids will go, whoa, shut down, big word, alert, don't know what that is, won't be able to do these. All right, that is just how a child's mind works. All right, it's fear of the unknown, and to be honest, a lot of us do that too. So what I say to them is equivalent just means the same. So even though they have different numbers in them, they mean the same amount. All right, and it kind of links back to when we talked about trying to work out what 5/25 of a pizza is, or is actually like brain-numbingly difficult. So we simplify it when we simplify it back down to a fifth. This is connected to that. All right, and what we do here is what's really important is you have to remember the golden rule. And the golden rule about things with fractions is they get extremely jealous of each other. So whatever you do to the top, you have to do to the bottom. Whatever you do to the bottom, you have to do to the top. And that will help them if you keep reinforcing the golden rule. See, I even did it in golden pen. Then it should help them. So what we're finding out here is what you can refer back to is a missing number sum. Now, they will have done missing number sums before. What I mean by that is something like this. You know, when you have 4 plus something equals 7. That's what they're trying to find out. So it's a similar thing here. You're saying to them, we don't know this bit. We only know the bottom bit. So how can we possibly work out the top bit? Well, here's how. You need to work out, how did we get from 5 to 25? What did we times, or what could we times 25 by to get 25? Now, here we go. We can use our multiplication grid. And you know, I have no issue with that. We want to get to 20. We're on the 5 times table, and we want to get to 25. That is 5 times. Right, okay, I get it now. So I timesed, I'm sorry, my son is on a Zoom quiz upstairs, might have won that round. It was a bit of an excited thump on the floor. So I go back, we were at 5 there, so we times the bottom by 5 to get 25. Now they're very jealous. We go back to our golden rule. We have to do the same to the top. If we times the bottom by 5, you also have to times the top by 5, which would mean our answer is 5. Loaf of bread. Have I lost my mind? No. This is one of the ways I explain this to children. So let's take this one here. The way I would explain it is we both go to, I won't name a supermarket, but we both go to our supermarket and we get one of those loaves of bread that the baker can slice. And Mum gets hers sliced into 5 pieces and you get yours sliced into 25 pieces. So effectively it's the same loaf of bread, it's just a different amount of slices. What this fraction is telling us, because it's an equivalent fraction, it means it's the same. It means that one of you would have to eat it for every 1 slice from this one. This person would have to eat 5 for you to eat the same amount. So even though the fraction is different, it's the same amount. One of my 5 slices of bread is the same as 5 of your skinny slices of your loaf of bread. And that's just a kind of visual way to hopefully help them understand. So I'm going to go through these last 4 with us all together, and hopefully they'll make sense. So again, here we go. We don't know this. This is this missing number. How would we get from 6 to 18? We use our grid if we need to, but 6 times what equals 18, you can say to them. You don't need to do this. I'm just writing this down for you. You could write it just initially as you're starting off. 6 times 3 is 18. What is the golden rule? They get jealous. Whatever you do to the bottom, you have to do to the top. So we need to times the top by 3 as well. And that gives us 9. Okay, that means, I won't do this for everyone, but that means if I sliced my loaf of bread into 6 and you sliced your loaf of bread into 18, if I ate 3 of my slices, you would have to eat 9 of your slices for us to eat the same amount of bread. Okay, so here we go. 4/9 is equal to blank over 27. How do we get from 9 to 27? We times it by 3. Golden rule, you must do the same to the top as you do to the bottom, so also times it by 3, which is 12. 11 to 33 is times 3. 7 times 3 is 21. And 8 times 6, almost had a little mind blank there, that would have been embarrassing. 8 times 6 is 48. We need to do the same to the top because of the golden rule, where they get very jealous of one another. And 5 times 6 is 30. So that today was a little bit of a whistle-stop tour of finding more than one something in a fraction, and also equivalent fractions. All right, I hope you found that useful, and I will carry on the series tomorrow. And please, as ever, let me know if there's anything that you haven't understood or you would like a little bit clearer explanation of, and I will happily do that. Okay, bye for now.